Punchboard Media,
where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.
Hey everybody, your moderator Bruce here. I wanted to open up the show reminding you about our sponsor, Power to the Meeple, at powertothemeeple.com, a game store that's providing amazing prices, free shipping over $100, and is also helping shows like ourselves. Not only do they help the Spiel Foundation, they also support the Brawling Brothers, Cardboard Carnage, Blue Peg Pink Peg, and of course us here at the Party Gamecast. As a quick note, I was just looking over their website. They have in stock right now Suburbia, the super duper ridiculous collector's edition. And I can say, having seen this at PAX Unplugged, it is one of the most ridiculous boxes to a game I've ever seen. It's gigantic, it's filled with so much stuff and so many organizers, and if you at all remotely were interested in Suburbia and wanted to see it as just an over-the-top spectacle of a board game, I would say check that out. As we are recording, it is still available at Power to the Meeple at powertothemeeple.com. Once again, fantastic prices and just really nice folks that are helping out the community. We have not enough nice things to say about them, at least partially, because they support us. They're fine folks at powertothemeeple.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. This episode's What the Food, brought to you by Speakman's Spew Spa. You'll feel better afterwards. We guarantee it.
Party Gamecast will show you what to play, giving you ideas when you don't know what to do or say. Party Gamecast, it's all fun and games, we'll show you new ideas to play. Party Gamecast, having fun is easy when you know what games to play. Party Gamecast will show you what to play, giving you ideas so you can party away.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Party Gamecast, featuring the Party Gamecast, a podcast about party games and games you take to parties, which, more so now than ever, we are hardly a thing anyone needs. I'm your moderator, Bruce. Joining me in the show is Rocky.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm in my jammies.
Very good. Mike.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing, Mike? Are you also in your jammies?
More or less, yeah.
Fair enough. We also have Brian.
What's up?
Nothing much. I heard myself echo and then echo and then echo. It was. I'll try not to be that excited.
Tunnel vision for your ears.
Ooh. Yeah. Woo. You in your jammies, Brian?
Not exactly.
Okay. Fair enough. And we also have Marty.
Hey, I put pants on for this.
Nice. That you have no need to do that. We can't even see you.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I needed an excuse to put on pants.
You know what?
Fair.
That's why we do some of the things we do, is just an excuse to put on pants and to remember what day it is. Hey everybody. Wow. Welcome to the end of times.
Hey,
we're still making podcasts.
yes.
Yay.
Because
I think that's a sign.
yeah,
That's one of the seals or something.
it may be like R.
Yes.
If you've wondered to yourself, hey, why don't they make this show over Discord?
Yeah.
You're gonna learn in this episode, because we can't see each other for cues.
Nope.
We're having to say each other's names a lot, which might help you at home know who we're talking to, because we don't know who we're talking to. But this is
All the crosstalk.
yeah.
We know each other's voices.
That is true. It is all just laughter and crosstalk. And let's have a real serious conversation, because clearly this is not going to be a normal episode. What this is going to be is
Normal episode.
Indeed. I've missed a couple of mid-month cavalcades, which at the time just seemed like I was lazy or forgetful. And they might be true, but now they're going to pay us off, because that's what we're going to use for the next couple of months. Since we can't get together in the same place to make episodes, we're going to use the Patreon content from the last couple of months. Then we're going to do these bits where we talk in the middle. So what you're going to hear is the Patreon content that came out in December. Let's first talk about, hey, everybody, what are you doing gaming-wise to get through this? Because this is a very cozy apocalypse.
Yeah.
Awfully cozy.
It really is. It really is. You never thought that cozy could feel this much like strangling.
Wow, Bruce.
But-
You okay?
No, I'm actually super fine.
Okay.
I'm taking the thoughts I see other places. I'm actually pretty okay with it. because we've done some fun stuff where we're streamers now. You and I, Rock.
We
so
are.
that's fun.
We are. Our faces are in the inner tubes. I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
We host several nights a week on Twitch under the Party Gamecast. No way.
Yeah.
Right.
Way. Total way.
Tuesdays we call it date night, where we play different dating simulators. We started off with everyone's favorite, the Colonel Sanders game, or whatever it's called.
I love you, Colonel.
I love you, Colonel
Colonel
Sanders.
Sanders.
Get him to
Yes.
fall in love with you.
Yes. Well, he was in love with us, but he still didn't want to be our business partner.
Oh, again?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the opposite of what we got for the...
Yeah, before I
River
think he
Kid?
didn't love us, but he respected us. This time, he loves us, but he does not respect us.
Yeah.
So we got to play it again to get both.
Well, yeah, we may have to see what we can do to try and find our way through. We think there was one decision we made early on that we should have made differently.
Is
We would
there
have
an
gotten.
ending where he does neither?
Probably.
Well, we
Not
there
like
was
there's
that one
one
time we
where you
died.
die.
Yeah.
No, but like one where you make it to the end and he's like, you know nothing about cooking and you're unpleasant to be around.
I both find you a horrible cook and an unreasonable human being.
Yes.
Get out of my sight.
I kind of want to find that ending.
Well, we may re-explore that. Right now, we're into
Yes.
pigeon dating.
Yes. Now we're playing a TOEFL Boyfriend, which is a game where you are a hunter-gatherer girl and you go to the world's only pigeon high school. Just digest that for a minute.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
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 I didn't
we-
know it was a hunter-gatherer.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah.
like-
That's why she lives in a cave.
Yeah, she mentions it a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the case. I joined a little late on the
Ah,
first
yeah.
episode, so
Apparently-
I missed.
That's who she is. She's a hunter-gatherer. No more explanation is presented to you.
Yeah.
So
are pigeons the civilization and humans still live in caves? So this is like
I don't.
20,000 years ago, pigeons had technology.
There has been no explanation whatsoever.
We have decided instead to just go with it.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
the only thing I really want to know, and we couldn't figure out on the thing was, is everything pigeon sized or is everything us sized? And
Right.
pigeons are just like hopping around on like people sized desks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not clearly explained
We're not
because
sure.
we like work in a cafe for a while. It's a whole thing. Check it out. I think the next game we're gonna do once we've gotten through a TOEFL Boyfriend is a daddy dating simulator
Oh yeah.
where we date daddies.
Yeah. Oh, I
Oh
mean.
my.
Yeah.
People's or our own?
Say it again.
Oh.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Hopefully not our own.
Not-
I think
not-
we are a daddy and we date other daddies.
Yes. So you have to try and
Oh,
find the right
okay.
style of daddy for you.
Yeah. There's also one I'm hoping that we're out of this by the time it releases, but there is a game where you date your swords
Yeah.
that we're also looking at, but it's
I've
not
heard
been
about
released
that
yet.
one, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks very dungeon crawlery, but then it cuts to scenes where it's like, oh, hey, you saved me. Do you want to go to this cafe? What? Okay.
And then your sword's just like a sexy dude,
With no shirt on.
and sometimes a sexy lady.
With no
'Cause
shirt on.
swords
Yeah.
don't wear shirts, Rocky. Jeez. Don't you know anything about swords?
You're right.
I don't. I thought they were just people. So when they're not people at the end, I'm real confused.
Yeah.
Because I don't dungeon or dragon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Tuesday. Thursday, I do a quiz show. Every Thursday, it's a ring-in quiz show. And then every Saturday, we do Jackbox for like 10 hours a Saturday.
All night
A
long.
lot. Yeah.
All night. So in the second break, we will talk more about Jackbox because we now have like more than a full day worth of experience in playing the various Jackbox games in all the systems. So there's what we're up to. Mike, what have you been doing like gamery during this cozy apocalypse?
Well, I've been playing a bunch of computer games. I've been playing Dauntless. I went back and played Warframe. I haven't. So there you go, Marty. That's one from your past.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, Marty and I used to play together years ago. I can't believe it's still running. It's been going on for like 7 years. And
Wow.
That's really long. I'm also possibly getting into a tabletop RPG over Discord. So
Nice.
we'll see what happens.
That is very cool. I know we've had some experiences. Rocky and I so far have played one game of Betrayal at the House on the Hill over Facebook Messenger. So it'd be the
Yeah.
same as doing it over Zoom or doing it over Discord or
yeah.
Skype or
Yeah, because video. you
Yeah.
know, we were already Facebook friends. We're like, oh, don't have to install anything new.
indeed.
Excellent.
And
And
you cut out there for a
Yeah,
while.
we lost about like 30 seconds of everything.
oh no.
Oh, well, that's a shame because we definitely have it.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
that's-
fine.
sorry, y'all.
Then
So-
this part will be fun for the listeners.
Exactly.
Hey.
Well,
So
this
hey,
part
hey,
can get
listeners.
cut.
No,
Ah,
no, because I want people to know the troubles we're going through.
I
And
mean,
we'll
now's
break
the
the
opportunity to say we're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
But we're not. It's
Wait.
through Audacity.
Well,
We're,
it's,
No
we're
podcast
definitely.
is
This
ever
is
live.
definitely live, y'all.
it's happening at the same time, though.
Yeah.
But this isn't the Twitch stream. That's doing it live.
That is also true.
We should Twitch our recording sessions just for,
Let
Oh,
us
No one needs
let us
to
know out there
know.
if that's a thing that you would like to see. Let us know. You know where you can let us know that. You can let us know that on the hotline.
30 party game.
30 party game 30 PARTYGAME. You know what? Leave off that last D for savings because no phones pay attention to that digit in this country.
Also, you get the party games.
So very cool, Mike. Very cool. Anything else? Or is it It's Warframe. It's Dauntless. I think you don't have a Switch, so you're not in the animals that we're crossing
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
No.
with a lot of
no,
us.
I am not in the Switch game that recently got banned from China. So-
Did it?
Did it really?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Oh.
Yeah. One of the Hong Kong protest leaders apparently used it as a platform.
Huh.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's innovative.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Planted flowers in the shapes of protests, maybe.
Yeah.
Come visit
Yeah, I don't
Ryan
know
and
the
buy some
exact
propaganda.
details because I now also played the game, so I don't know what you can do, but I know that it has been banned.
Huh. That's sure a thing. On that high note, Brian, what are you doing game wise?
Well, a couple of friends of mine have been doing this really cool Twitch stream. I don't know if it's okay to plug it.
It certainly is. As a matter of fact, for as long as possible, with as many specific details as you can give.
Nope,
So it's
I'm muting
called the Party
Brian.
Gamecast.
Sounds like
and
fun.
they well, scroll back about 4 minutes in the podcast, you'll get the rundown.
Indeed.
I don't want to do that.
So doing that, and then been playing a new game on my phone called Black Desert Mobile.
Okay.
It's an MMO. I played it on my PC for years. They made a mobile version, and it's incredibly addictive. Good thing I don't have anything else I'm supposed to be doing right now.
I understand. That's how I feel about Animal
Super
Crossing.
fun.
You mean like recording?
Well, I mean, okay, right now, but my phone's it's on autoplay in the background, so I don't have to do anything.
I have
Nice.
a feeling.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. How about you, Marty? Are you doing any gaming?
I'm doing some online games like Twilight Struggle, I've been doing that before.
Nice.
I'm doing a couple of D&D campaigns online and some computer games and a lot of Netflix.
Nice. We got rid of Netflix, but we have a lot of the other things. And we also, speaking of things to watch, I don't know if any of you would have caught this, but I'm curious how far into the world this stuff permeates, but how genuinely weird WrestleMania was this year.
Yeah, I heard something about it, and like it was over 2 days, and no one knows exactly when it was recorded. And a couple of people didn't want to do it, but most of them were in, and yeah, there's a whole thing about it.
There's a whole thing, and one of the matches, multiple people who discuss wrestling matches have referred to it as David Lynchian.
Oh my!
There was a David Lynchian wrestling match.
The Firefly
People
Funhouse
talking
one?
backwards, or
Yeah. Like at some point, Brian, I would kind of like, because you've sat here through enough pay-per-views that you kind of understand enough wrestling that it
I've been
wouldn't
forced
confuse
into
you.
watching it by my friends.
Yeah,
They sound like great friends.
they do sound like great
With
friends.
friends in quotes.
With
yeah.
friends, yeah.
Quote, friends.
It was.
Anyway,
There were at points there were people talking backwards in parts of things for a second. Mostly well-known celebrity superstar John Cena had to battle against his own emotions, memories, and past, and deal with his own issues,
Yeah.
which he was
guess 'cause those
unable
are
to defeat.
incorporeal things and don't involve touching, so it's fun.
Well, yeah, and a lot of it was him being older versions of him.
So he's fighting himself in makeup.
Yes, well, he's
Kinda.
Reverse shot of moves.
well, it's like One character represents some other character that would have been near John Cena, and John Cena represents old versions of John Cena, but with John Cena's current mindset, but being controlled by his past emotions.
There was extremely little actual wrestling.
Yes.
So this is kind of like a self-quantum leap thing also?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely is. Like, John Cena, as original first time in the WWF John Cena, had to face a Bray Wyatt who represented the concept of success. It's something.
Okay.
It's something. It's a real thing.
If I could watch that without, paying $40, I would.
We
That's
will-
usually why I watch wrestling is my friends pay for it. Nice.
We will find a way, if it's not already on YouTube, to get that near
I'm
you.
Sure I can find a way that I wouldn't admit to on the internet where I could, whatever. But everything's on the internet.
Indeed. I would say it's 15 minutes worth of time to check it. And it's the only reason we would talk about it on here and shoehorn it in is because specifically that thing is so weird.
Huh.
Yeah. It is.
Does sound like it, yeah.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. And thank you, Marty, because you allowed me to bring that up through talking about just watching television.
I'm here for you, Bruce.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Marty. So we're going to break now, and we're going to go into What the Food, where Rocky and I tell you about Japanese chips, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Hello, patrons. How are you today? We come to you today with delicious, tasty chips from afar. You know what it's time for?
What is it? What is it time for?
It's What the Food!
What the Food!
We're joined today. It's me, Rocky. Hey. And
it's me, Bruce, your co-host on today's show.
this isn't weird at all.
No, not at all. This is perfectly normal how we would do
We
things.
had to release this on a Friday, so it's Freaky Friday.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be released on Friday because this is the last day of the month. It's going to be a Freaky Tuesday, y'all.
Freaky 2019, y'all.
Freaky 2019.
No, really, though.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe
Anyway.
maybe freakier than we wanted it to be.
So many moons ago, we ordered giant boxes of things from Japan. From afar. From, I can't remember who. From Japan. Japan box?
Japan box, Japan crate,
Japan crate?
Japan,
Japan crate?
Japan fan,
Japan food?
Japana food.
I don't know. We'll figure it out later. So we ordered a great many things. And on their website, they had cute little tubes of chips that were Chipstar brand. Now, I actually saw 2 of these the other day in the H Mart near us.
Really?
Yeah, in the checkout line. It was 2 of the flavors we have here. So there you go.
I hope they're good.
I sure hope so. I mean, because we could obtain them now, as could other people.
Indeed.
So they're not quite so unreachable for people.
Nice.
Hopefully.
Chipstar. Me.
Pew, pew, pew. So we have 2 meat-related ones, I believe, and 2 not meat-related ones. Do you want to mix it up a little bit?
Let's mix it up.
All right. So let's start with non-meat. So this is Chipstar potato chips, nori shio flavor. It's in a green cardboard tube, kind of like Pringles, but shorter.
So then try to help everybody that
Yes.
doesn't know about the cuisine we're talking about. Nori shio would taste like, in all good theory, in the real world, what would that taste
Salt.
be?
So nori is seaweed, and shio is soy sauce. So I believe. So salty salt. Tastes like the ocean and some salt.
And then nori, like, by and large, where you would encounter this if you're not super into Japanese cuisine would probably be as, like, the green wrapper on sushi.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Often, it's also used as a flavoring in some soups, right? Like, sometimes you'll get a miso soup that might have some in there.
Yes, those
Okay.
little leafy bits.
Yeah.
You don't know what they are.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Okay.
So there are actually weird instructions on how to open these. As far as I can gather, I pop the top. Oh, that's easier said than done. There we go.
Oh, man, there's more parts. It's not just like a Pringles.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I did it wrong. So the illustration looks like there's like a seal on it, but there isn't. It's wrapped in a package inside. Here, I'll show you the instructions. It looks like you press down and then squeeze it and it pops off.
Yeah, it does look like that way, but maybe
So-
because it's an international version that this is how it's been packaged.
Or that's how I get this cap off and I just did it the hard way.
That might be. That may be.
All right. So
Yeah, I don't understand.
yeah.
Those instructions, like, are not even IKEA clear.
No. Well, of course, it's also written in a language we can't read.
That's true, but
the
I mean,
visuals
like-
are confusing.
It has that kind of IKEA feel of it's
Yeah.
clearly supposed to be in all languages, easy to understand.
Yeah, so it's in a cardboard tube, and then it's wrapped in packaging that you can hear. Kind of looks like a sleeve of Oreos.
Yeah, I'm going to guess this might be because it's for international packaging, so maybe it's a little different. Although I don't know, because I think Japan box or Japan crate or whatever it is, the whole deal is supposed to be that it's actually like they're grabbing them from Japanese stores.
Maybe, yeah. So these look like chips, but they have little tiny green flecks in them, and you can see the sparkle of salt on top.
And they look like Pringles. I think I want to make that clear. It's not just chips. They're that curve of Pringles.
Absolutely Pringly. All right.
That's just salty. Can I get one more so I can eat it the other direction?
Absolutely.
Maybe
Hold
that's where I'm going to...
Make sure the right side's up. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me do the same. It's got a little extra savory on the end when you keep chewing once it's gone. If that makes
But I
sense.
wouldn't say I'm incredibly impressed by this, to be real honest with you. Like, it just tastes like a salty chip.
Hold on, I'm going to get a little tiny sliver because Party Game Cat wants to try. Hold on. Here you go, buddy.
Party Game Cat sniffing and trying to take it. No, he's thought it over.
He tasted it and went, ugh.
He is now physically backed away. Oh, no, he's going for it again. Nope, so...
I'll put that down for him.
I don't know how your cats work, because this is my first cat.
Mm-hmm.
But what he will do is he will take a chip from you and then run away and like eat it in a secret location.
Yeah, I think the piece was too small for him to grab and run with. I put it down, now he's eating it.
Okay.
There you go. One paw up from the cat.
So I would say it's just salty. Do we want to cover would we take it to a party at the end, or do we want to do it chip by chip?
Let's do it chip by chip. It's a lot of different flavors here.
Okay.
So, Bruce, would you take it to a party? Now, really, this could be any kind of party where you would eat chips in a tube.
No.
Wow,
I wouldn't. Like, it just tastes like a salty chip. Like, I feel like I show up with this unique container where people are like, oh, they're like Pringles. You're like, no. They're like Pringles, but they're like Pringles that I've had flown in from Japan. So you expect something, and then you're like, it's just a salty chip with green flecks on it.
Oh, no. It's salty, but I think it's a little bit more savory somehow. At the end, I can't really describe it more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a little bit of that, but not enough. In my opinion, not enough to matter.
No, I don't think I'd bring it to a party, but I'd eat it again because I like it.
Yeah, no, we'll finish the tube, but I would not, like, buy it again.
Yeah. All right, so... Oh, there's many more. Don't worry, guys. There's an orange tube here that is Chip Star potato chips consomme.
So just like a watery broth?
It just says consomme. No other qualifiers at all. It's just consomme.
Fair enough. Let's pop that boy open and see.
All right, I'm going to try squeezing it like it says.
Okay.
No, I think I just smushed the chips a little bit.
I heard, like, I don't know if it got picked up by the microphone, but I definitely heard, like, chip crumble.
Yeah, no, okay, let's not do that anymore.
Okay, now we've learned. Now we've learned about how to open these up.
It's in a straight-up orange sleeve here. And I like it has all the same branding on the inner packaging as it does the outer one, just in case.
Yeah, if for some reason the inner packaging and the outer packaging got separated, you could easily put them back together.
Huh. These smell like bullion.
Really?
Really would make sense.
Like gold bullion, like they fought for in the West?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
All right, let me get a couple pieces. Yeah, I definitely smushed a couple. I'm sorry. They made it all the way from Japan. And
my goodness, that smells straight up like a bullion cube.
Yeah. Does consomme have to be like a certain animal? Or a certain meat? That sounded wrong.
I thought classically it was beef.
Oh, what? It's like a light au jus flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
No.
Yeah. That's kind of fun. Like, I would say if you've ever had any of the, like, Pringles turkey, where you're like, oh, that's kind of turkey.
Yeah, but less timey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Far less timey.
Cat not interested in these.
But it's the same way, like, that's kind of turkey, this is kind of beef, in a way that I find really, really pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Bruce.
Yeah.
Is there any party you would take these to?
Every party. Every party, any party, because I feel like when I show up with, oh my goodness, they're like Pringles, but I've had them flown in from Japan. This is kind of what you expect. You're like, oh, that's a taste I like, but not exactly what I would expect in a chip.
Oh, man, we should have gotten, like, palate cleansers or something. Like, some kind of just, hold on, I need to sip this water and swirl it in my mouth so I can clear the flavors. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but we don't have that, so we're trucking on.
Yep. So, all right, so the yellow tube is, this one doesn't have any English writing on the tube except for Chipstar. Hold on. Butter soy.
Huh. So soy sauce, which you're used to, and butter, which in all good theory you also know out there. So it should be those two together.
Plot twist, the inner lining on this is a silver package that just says Chipstar. So remember what I said earlier about how it has all the same packaging? Not so much on this one.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, because apparently just for Japan. I don't know. All right.
So we're cracking this bad boy open. What's the smell we're getting?
Oh. I wasn't ready for that. Okay, so you grow up in like the 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah, okay, so that's when I grew up was the 80s and 90s. You're talking directly to me.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, I definitely am. Did you ever have they had them in shakers like seasoning. I think it was Butter Buds or something, where it was like powdered butter flavor that you would sprinkle on vegetables to fool yourself into thinking it was buttered.
You mean like Molly McButter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Miss McButter.
Yeah, that.
I remember Miss Molly McButter.
That's what this is.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get a sniff
one before
so that I can talk about it intelligently, but I do remember Miss McButter.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, wow, that is what that is. It's like that and a little bit of like a smell of a warehouse.
My favorite.
Yeah, that's what I would safely call that. It's
complete with mysterious gray dust and everything?
Yeah, that's exactly like it smells like a mix of Molly McButter and gray dust.
Mmm. Oh, we're eating, okay.
Wow, that is butter forward as all get out. Wow.
Wow. Yeah,
oh,
wow.
Lord.
I was not ready.
No.
I was not.
So I will say, fair listener, have you ever, and I think this, I'm going to try and pick the only place where I think this could happen, and it would happen to a large number of people. So you've gone to the movies, and you've decided to get movie popcorn. And you grew up in the 80s and 90s when you remember when they would put the butter on your popcorn.
Yep.
But now it's the 2000s and the 2010s and soon the 2020. And you're like, hey, I'm allowed to put my own butter on. I'm a human. I'm allowed to do this. So you put too much movie theater butter on something, and then you take a bite and you understand why you were not allowed to have a license to put movie theater butter on popcorn? Mm-hmm. That is what this tastes like to me.
Yeah, but saltier. Like, you heavily salted the popcorn first.
This is the taste of having too much freedom in your own food choices.
Yeah, no. As a note, Cat, zero interest in this at all. Like, didn't even come over when we opened it.
No.
He's smart.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to put that back in the tube. Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
Would you take this to a party?
Okay, so interesting you should ask.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting it, but I'm ready.
Okay.
Yes. Because that taste is so weird. I want to share that with people, and I want to talk about it. Is it good? No. No, it is not good.
No.
Fair listener. No, it is not tasty. But that weird taste of, like, way too much movie theater butter oil.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a... Ugh.
It's such a weird taste. I just want to talk about that with other people. But not because it's good. If you're only taking good chips to your party, you do not want to take that.
I feel like I need to squeegee out my mouth like it's oily.
There is like a coating on my tongue.
Yeah.
Oof.
I would also take it to the party just so everyone has the shared experience with me, and I don't have to eat the whole tube.
Indeed. Chipstar, butter, and soy sauce, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And then we have one more left.
All right, I hope everyone is ready.
I hope I'm ready.
This is Chipstar Wagyu steak.
So Wagyu is that beef that they like massage?
Yes.
Massage.
And it's like the marbliest meat ever. It's so fatty, but so meaty, and supposed to be amazing. And costs a lot of money, and people fake it all the time.
Okay, so what we have to compare this to is the consommé, which was like a beef flavor,
mm-hmm.
and then the butter, which was just pure fat. It was just like licking a stick of butter. So that's what we have to go off of.
This is going to be like licking beef fat, I think.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's bad or good. It's interesting. This one also another silver wrapper.
Yep. Once you pop the top, that's great.
From the fine folks at Prongles.
Yeah.
Once you pop, that's great.
All right.
What do we have here?
Kind of tastes like, or not taste. I haven't eaten it yet. It kind of smells like the consommé, but lighter, if that makes sense. Let me Take one and pass it.
Okay, so let me take a big huff of this bad boy
Yeah.
here. Yeah, it definitely is in that consommé range, but you're right. It's not as strong smell of whatever it's trying to be.
Yes, but it has made a point of saying it's steak specifically, not just Wagyu and then end of it. So we'll see.
So
What?
what just happened?
Wow.
Wow, do I taste onion? I think I taste a little bit of onion.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, like, I definitely taste char broiling.
Yes, but specifically like beefy
Yeah.
parboiled.
This is, I can taste the taste of the salamander crystallizing like the fat on the beef.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Wow.
Well, this is a very, I don't want to say intense, but nuanced.
Yes. This is,
I mean,
and,
another.
and the taste changes throughout the bite while you're eating it. This is the snozberries tasting like snozberries.
I'm glad this was last. This would have ruined Norishio for us.
Oh my goodness.
Well, those are fun.
That really is, I would not have guessed based on Chipstar's earlier chips that they were capable of this,
Yeah.
but that is really impressive.
Now, I don't know if you would grill Wagyu steak so long on the grill that you would taste the grill and not the amazing meat that you've probably paid way too much for.
Now that is, yeah, I don't know that this is necessarily Wagyu beef. I do know
Yeah.
this is like steakhouse steak though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can taste the caramelized onions. I can taste the char on the fat, like the crystallization of the char on the fat. Like, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
That is very impressive.
Indeed. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just ran out of words.
Yeah. Well, then I'll fill in. I'll
Okay.
help us.
Thank you.
Hey,
'cause-
hey, Rocky, would you take it to a party?
Yeah. Well, only if I have a backup at home for me to eat when I get home.
I understand. I want people now, unlike the last one, so the soy and butter, that was a terrible experience that I
Mhm.
wanted people to share with me.
Yeah.
That was the Cat's 2019 of chips.
Okay.
I want people to have the experience, but it's not because it's good.
Okay.
Whereas this one is the Avengers 2019, where I want people to have the experience with me because it is so good.
Oh, you're talking movies.
I'm talking movies.
I didn't quite understand.
Oh,
I was
you
like-
thought actual Cats.
I was like, what is wrong with cats?
no.
They are great.
No, Cats 2019.
Oh, the no.
movie.
Oh, the movie that shall not be named.
The movie that I literally just named.
Ooh.
I want people to have that experience with me, but not because it's good. This one definitely because it's good. Like this, once again, and I agree with what you said. I'm not sure it's Wagyu beef, but it's definitely steakhouse steak.
Yeah, it was definitely grilled meat.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
grilled beef.
So how about you?
Yeah, I would because it's ridiculous, and I want other people to try that because they're not gonna believe me.
No. So that is Chipstar Wagyu beef. Definitely the best of the four that we've had.
Yeah, I would say probably the runner-up for me is the consommé,
Yep.
and third I would put nori, and last I would put butter. Very far, far away.
And I agree with everything that you said, although I would put the nori a little further back from the two beef ones only because it was just kind of salty.
I don't hate it.
No, but it was inoffensive salty, whereas the butter
Yeah.
one was notably offensive to me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, thank you for supporting us and sponsoring us so we can get ridiculous snack like this and talk to you about it.
Yeah, really, thank you so much for all of your support. We are now able to just say, like, hey, that's a weird chip about Wagyu beef. I think we're going to have that now.
I'm going to eat it.
And we really appreciate that we have that opportunity. Thank you so much. I've been your co-host, Bruce.
I've been, I guess, your moderator, Rocky.
And thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Hey, those are sure chips we talked about, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday.
I remember it like it was 4
Chips
months
taste
ago.
amazing.
I remember like it was 15 seconds ago.
Japan.
Japan, y'all.
Participate.
Man, Japan, huh?
Indeed. If y'all have anything at your houses right now, I'm talking to actual you, and I guess all of you listening, feel free to eat that now, and then wherever you are, just talk about it. Just talk about how you feel about it. This seems like a good time for that. Just it's your own what the food. And specifically for everybody else that's near a microphone right now, feel free. If there's something that you want to talk about that you have near you, food-wise, this would be the time to do it. Rocky and I have nothing near us.
That's not true.
That is not true.
We have discovered that Pocky chips have made a whole bunch of weird flavors that we really like.
And that is PA. Whoa. I'm gonna block that before it gets
Okay.
bad.
We're gonna need to enunciate.
Yeah.
What?
PAQUI. They are the company that's known for those chips that
Okay.
come in a coffin.
Yeah,
Yes,
the really spicy
I remember
ones.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
yes.
single
Yeah.
nacho chip that is supposed to be
Yeah,
ridiculous.
the worst
Yeah,
thing
the
ever.
regular chips
Takis.
are good.
And that's what we've learned. Their regular chips are good. We have their jalapeno tropical.
And
Which
Yeah,
are-
I thought
yeah.
when you said Pocky, you were talking about POCKI,
Oh,
like
no.
the little sticks
Yeah,
with
no.
chocolate on them.
No.
Which is better than
I
what
was
Brian
wondering-
thought we said.
I'm not going to repeat
What did
I
you
thought
think
said,
we
but-
said?
No, I know what he
Yeah,
thought we said, and we
I
did
was like-
not.
Why would I say that?
I at first went where Mike went, where I was like, did they make Pocky in potato chip form? Because that seems right up Rocky's alley.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And then you were like, no, it must not be that. They must have said a slur.
Yeah, the one that our overseas
Oh,
listeners might recognize.
people.
Yeah.
No, obviously, we were talking about PAQI.
PAQUI.
Yeah.
PAQUI. Yeah, they make really good
Obviously.
chips. I do like them. Their novelty chips aren't always the best, but like their regular chips are good.
The
Indeed.
nacho cheese ones, I think, are better than Doritos. Fight me.
Yeah.
No, you're totally right on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Doritos was like, if it was like small batch Doritos.
And they're made of food, which is lovely.
Technically, Doritos are made of food.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In the
Technically.
same way that technically Velveeta is made of dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's the thing that if you eat it in moderation won't kill you right away.
Yeah.
You get some calories from it, so it's fine. Moderation being like one chip a week.
Yeah. Well, as we jump on, we were talking about how now a lot of us are playing a lot of Jackbox, and I think the world is playing a lot of Jackbox. Like, I know that the actors and actresses and singers and dancers on Broadway have a game every week. I know Jackbox is running its own game every week. I know you'll hear every once in a while to be like, oh, the people that are parts of the cast of the Marvel Cinematic Universe got together for a game of Jackbox. So, like, Jackbox is everywhere right now. And we now have, technically, right this second, Rocky and I think Brian too, we have 34 hours of play.
Yeah. Well, just on I have my computer in front of me. Just on Party Pack 4, we have 11 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
maybe 29 of that or so. I was there for most of it.
Okay.
So
So,
I was there for a chunk of it, although I wasn't playing every game. I was watching a lot of it.
yeah, it looks like every pack has between 8 and 11 hours on it,
yeah.
except for
Sounds
one
about right.
because it's a bit crap.
And that's the thing we've learned is that one, if you're streaming, is virtually unplayable enough that you would not want to try.
Yeah, because the later packs have a setting where you can extend timers because they know there's a delay, so it would give time for people to answer. Party Pack 1 did not realize that yet.
Yeah. Party Pack 1 did not know how this tool was going to be
No.
used. They did not realize that it
Sounds
would be
like
such a big thing.
decade old.
I think so. It's classic.
Yeah, what is the year on that one?
Let me go to the store
Does
page.
it tell you? Let's take a look.
Please hold.
So we're punching up the store page to find out.
2014.
62.
2014.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah,
6
so
years
6 years old.
yeah,
Yeah.
just about a 6-year-old game. So it just shows you, and you can even see like when they make a game and then they make a newer version, you can see that they've learned from the old version specifically how to make it better for Twitch and similar streaming platforms.
Yeah.
And how not to include a weird Darwin doll thing. Like that other game.
Yeah, that nobody knew what they were doing.
Oh, I
Yeah.
yeah, no. Oh, that thing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you've brought back pain. Thanks.
We
No
tried. We were
problem.
almost going to play that on the stream one time till we remembered how
Yeah.
terrible it was.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have to share a keyboard. I forgot.
And we're like, oh yeah, there's a reason we can't play this.
And it asks questions about the other person, and
Yeah.
most of the people don't know each other.
Yeah, which is a definite issue. So then I'm going to ask,
Legions of fans.
Rocky and I get to see this all like live time because we're the computer that's serving it all. So for the two of you, or for the three of you, I don't know, Marty, because have you gotten any games of Jackbox in while you've been doing this?
I have, just not with you guys.
And that's
Oh,
perfectly
I-
fine.
Oh.
No,
It's
that's
not fine.
that's okay.
Nope.
So the question I would ask all of you is, so Marty, when you're playing it, is it the same deal where somebody's like on Zoom and you're playing it over Zoom or Discord
actually,
or?
we play on Discord, and someone just streams it there, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to ask the three of you, because Rocky and I do not have this experience, because like I said, we're the computer that's serving it, is talk to me about like which games you like, which games you don't, based on the fact that you are dealing with that kind of that clock that's not lined up because somebody else is serving the game. So I'm going to start with Mike. You haven't had quite as much time on this as Rocky and I and Brian have, but like from what you've seen, are there certain ones that are standouts to you, or ones that you especially didn't like, either as a viewer just watching it, or as someone trying to play it with the issues with the clock? And talk to me about that.
I really haven't had very many issues with the clock. Part of it, I think, in my case, and in our cases in general, is that we are physically close. So even though it's not being hosted at your house, it's being hosted on Jackbox servers, it's still coming from the same place. So we've got about the same amount of lag between us. So there's not a ton of problems for me as far as that goes. Okay. How about you, Brian? Because I found so the question I have is, and it's because I don't know. So for me, the phone's always going to line up with the TV or with the monitor on the computer because we're right there. We're in the same living room. I feel like once you get through all the servers of processing for Twitch, that things aren't quite lined up. Is there a frustration to that or not? Because I legitimately do not know.
Early on, that was a little annoying until I learned to not listen to the announcer countdown. Because it also depends on the game and the day and how many people are on and all kinds of other the internet. Who knows?
Of course.
But it's I usually get about a 3-second delay between what you're doing on Twitch and what's happening on my screen.
So that could be worse.
On my game screen, and sometimes it's been up to 15 seconds, and then I just refresh the Twitch stream.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes it's just Twitch being Twitch, and you just have to refresh, and then it'll buffer it up to where it is now.
Yeah, like I never really notice it, because I don't play it on my device. I just open another window on my computer, because I'm using my phone for this mobile game that we talked about.
Of course.
So it's not a huge lag, but sometimes it's noticeable. When it changes is when it gets me, because usually I know that it's about 3 seconds, and then every once in a while it'll sneak up and get up to 10, and I won't know, and then I'll miss an answer, and then I'm like, oh, and I have to refresh in between questions.
Okay.
But it's not too bad. It's now that I know to expect.
So
it's a little weird, like chatting is what does it. Like if you guys say something and I try to respond to you, it'll be I get it 5 seconds after you said it, and then my message goes through with another couple second delay back to you, and then that's awkward. But like playing the game is pretty easy.
I know Steam does have a remote play option, so if you don't want to like stream it like we are to who knows who, and you have a friend that has Steam, you could just share the screen with them. So I feel like
so you're both getting the same Steam feed, basically.
Right. So if you both have Steam, you can do. That's how we played. We interacted with Tabletop Simulator. We tried it with my sister and her husband, and so like they have the same screen on their computer and they can interact with it the same as us, and it was real time.
Yeah, because you're both getting the lag from the server, but not an additional lag from Twitch or whatever.
Right.
And we will.
That's the one that's the problem.
Right. And we will talk about Tabletop Simulator after the next clip.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we will. So then, are there any games in particular that?
I don't get a say. Bruce?
No, I realized. As a matter of fact, Marty, as I was starting that transition, I was like, I didn't ask Marty how it is over Discord. I should go do that. And I was starting to like put my feet in the ground, and I was slipping on the sand to turn around and do it. But I'll take that. I'll take that transition. And this shows people why normally we try to do this where we can see each other. Because normally I would be able to feel your eyes staring at me. And I'd be like, oh, I forgot about Marty. So, Marty, how is the game playing when you're doing it on Discord? Because I feel like it would be a little tighter, but I don't know.
Yeah, actually, there's not as much timing issues. I haven't seen it getting the timing off at all. Maybe less than a second or so. So maybe there's a little bit, but it's not really noticeable. The big problem is when you're doing it on Discord is trying to get everyone on Discord and on the Jackbox server. People are still trying to get used to Discord. It's not as intuitive, I guess, as maybe Twitch is. I haven't tried Twitch. So I think that's the only problem. But once everyone gets settled, it works really well.
Yeah, I would say with Twitch is almost just like watching a TV show. And essentially, Rocky and I are doing, I don't know if any of you paid any attention to this back in the day, but it was something that used to really amuse me, was Game Show Network. When it kind of first started out in its first couple of years, it used to have like this weird like up all night show where it just had one host in like a modified house that would just like host game shows from this house. But it was essentially just like this poor woman having to do like improv theater for 2.5 hours in the middle of the night. Alone. Where, and every once in a while she would have like, let's have a caller in and try a game. And then she would have to try to like play a game with them, but there was the delay of the telephone and stuff. So it's kind of like that, where you're just sort of watching and we're like, hey, it's time for finger puppets. And now we're going to play a game. And then we sort of put the screen up and on your screen, you just see a screen. So it doesn't create those lags to us. It does if you're watching, but it's also a one-sided, like, I can't hear anyone talk. I can't hear anyone's laughter. It's just we talk at everybody and hope that they're, like, getting along and playing, in exception to the chat room, because there's a text-based chat room as well.
Yeah, the chat room's handy, and every once in a while, I know once I did this, I sent Rocky a text. But
Yes.
most people can't do that because they don't have your phone numbers.
I mean, if they have my number, they can text, but I'm not going to, let's say, put it out on air. That's a terrible
Yeah.
idea.
30 Party Game is the number.
Exactly.
That's Rocky's phone number, and you can leave
30
a
Party
message
Game.
if you want to talk.
Yes. Really, you could tweet us. Everybody knows our Twitter.
Yeah, and we do.
Oh, do we have a Twitter?
Yeah, we do. What is it, Rock?
Oh.
At my brain went 30 Party Game.
30. It's 30 Party
30
Game.
Party
It's not.
Game,
It's
yeah.
not 30 Party Game.
It's at Party Gamecast.
What's
in
the
fact.
What's the cat?
At Party Game Cat.
What are we on Instagram?
At Party Gamecast, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we are on
Okay.
Instagram. That's what we are everywhere. I just thought I would put that out there
We
because
are so professional.
technically we have an Instagram that I occasionally throw something up on.
There's pajama party graphics on there. I noticed those.
Yeah. I do try to make advertising graphics for all the different things that we're doing on Twitch.
Yeah, we found that people need a little nudge, like, oh yeah, that is today, because all the days kind of blur together. So
Yeah, that's actually one of the main reasons I'm glad that we do this, because it gives me a reason to like care about Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday,
yes.
which is nice. We've also learned there's some games that are like unplayable completely, and that's like all of Pack 1 is unplayable via stream.
Yeah, all of Pack 1.
Most of Pack 1.
Bomb Core is unplayable.
Yeah, Faking It is real bad.
Faking It's unplayable.
What was the other one we just discovered
I know
yesterday?
no one liked Monster whatever.
Monster Seeking Monster has not done really well, but it is playable.
Well, like
Yeah, it's playable. It's just no one likes it.
the
Yeah.
first time we
I really like it because it's a hit and roll game, so I'm going to like it.
What was
and
in-
you can be a werewolf, Mike.
yes,
Yeah, you can be a literal werewolf.
a werewolf.
A werewolf.
A werewolf.
I know Push the Button is also unplayable because essentially that is just like a really hip version of the game with the Cylons.
Sure, that one.
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all
yeah.
of the little mini quizzes that you do would be playable, but the like one where you put two people in the room and interrogate them is not doable at all. So you can never finish.
Yeah.
Also, role models, because it's like a personality test. Like, so what celebrity is your friend like? I don't know them. I just met them on the internet 10 seconds ago. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
here's 6 comic book characters. Match your friends with them.
Great.
I don't know.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I know there's some of the ones in the other packs, but I can't see them, so I
Hang
don't
on.
know.
So
They were up. Okay. So then we learned that about Pack 6, that role models nobody really likes. Joke Boat does real terrible if you're not in the same room.
Oh, the jerk Bert.
Yeah.
Jerry Bird.
It's a shame. It's fun.
Zeeple Dome is the worst.
Yeah, Zeeple Dome is a physics game, so that's just not playable.
Not with a lag, no.
Yeah, not with a lag.
It's not good without the lag.
No.
It's worse with like it wasn't fun when there was no lag, at least for me.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Really, like Monster Seeking Monster, I'm coming back to that. Because the first time we played it, people were like, oh, I really liked it. And we played it a second time in a row, which doesn't really happen. But then, like, other people just kind of disappear out of the room. So either people are really into it, or they're like, nope, bye.
Yeah, I'll tell you an interesting thing. If you look at the metrics for Twitch, you can literally pinpoint by watching the bar go down when we played the second game of Monster Seeking Monster.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you, like it's something like at 6:28 we did it because you can see the second it happens.
But
But I would say in Party Pack 4 there is one that I want to talk about because I don't know that when we reviewed it on the show, we gave it a real great review because it's not real good at 4 people. But at 16, it's amazing, and that is bracketeering.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, 12 plus it's great. 16 is really where it shines.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, like that is
Yeah, when
one.
we played it, not this past Saturday, but the one before.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was pretty entertaining with all
Yeah.
those people.
It was
Yeah, because there was
full.
one time where we had like 16 players and like half a dozen people in the audience.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one that I would not hesitate. And before, when we had it with 4, we were like, yeah, I like the idea of it, and some of the stuff it does is kind of fun, and like you see where they're going, but it's not really a very good game. And I would say at 4, I still stand behind that review. But yeah, we tried it with 10 and up. Bracketeering is great because there's enough voices involved doing enough things that you constantly feel like you're a part of the action. And then all of that like theme of the guy being like, it's a whamma jamma, like comes through because there's so many people involved, which is super cool. I also have found a new love. I like Survive the Internet now far more than I ever did before, now having played a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad that you enjoyed that game.
I understand.
We're happy you're happy, Bruce.
Yeah.
I tried, like I should. It's just be snarky, like in a comment section on the internet, and I cannot find a way to enjoy it, so I let other people play.
I think I just enjoy the graphics because it just looks like a throwbacky 1998 computer desktop, and yeah, that's what gets me, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could
it's
see that.
Windows 98.
Lappy.
Maybe 95. Windows
Yeah.
95.
Or 95.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and the other one, the Earwax. It's another game that I'm glad people enjoy.
How do you feel about farts?
Yeah, here's 6 kinds of farts and like a person saying a word. Pick 2.
I
And
don't
you can't
rem-
even preview them.
No, and that I think I recall that being a problem when we originally played it that I said was like I would have liked to have been able to hear it so I could make better decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I will play it now. It's not one that like I don't want to be involved in, but I agree with you. Like I don't super love it, although it is just so much different than everything else, even in the other 5 packs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't knock them for trying. Like, I like
Yeah.
that they do weird types of games, and that one is definitely different. But like, I'll jump in and play it if the player count needs it, but that's not one I'm ever going to ask for.
Yeah, I can completely understand. But I would say, yeah, bracketeering, I think, is through this 34 hours of playing games, that's the one that I've definitely done an about face on my opinion from what I said before, from it looks like it could be a good idea to it genuinely is a good idea.
Yeah, no, it's super fun with a big enough group.
Yeah. So anybody else have any thoughts on the Jackbox games in general and playing them during this time?
I would like to add Use Your Words.
Yes.
Because that's not
Yeah.
technically Jackbox, but we still play it, and it's still fantastic.
Yes.
It really is.
And Drawful
It's-
too.
Drawful's pretty. I need to switch to my phone for the drawing games, because when I try to draw with a mouse on a computer, it's not good.
I could imagine. But yeah,
Also,
use your
you get
words.
more options on your phone, I feel like.
Say it again?
People come back. I think you get more options on your phone, because I'll see people draw stuff in like multiple colors with like thick lines and thin lines, and on my phone I get like highlighter and black.
It depends.
And there's no thickness.
It depends on
which
the game.
Yeah.
But like the games where people were doing, I think it might be TKO where people were doing that, where like somebody drew this really cool little dinosaur in one of them. It was the most adorable.
I remember that, yeah.
Dinosaur
Mhm.
anyone's ever drawn, and it was like in 3 different colors with
Mhm.
like different thicknesses of, and I'm like looking at mine and I have like 2 colors that I can draw in or something, and I don't know. You know, it must be different on the phone. Maybe I'll have to pause my other game.
The only thing I would note for Use Your Words is it is only up to 6 players, which for the big streams that we do sometimes isn't the greatest thing, but by and large, it's still fantastic at all the way up to 6 players. And I don't play a ton of games of it. I watch a lot of games of it, and it's still a ton of fun to watch.
It is. I was watching a couple of those, and especially the ones with the subtitles
Yep.
are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
I would also mention to anyone who's listening and who might think of tuning in to our Twitch stream that it is a little blue at times. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little after dark.
Well,
It's not as After Dark as that episode that definitely didn't happen, but
Yeah, well, that was a little
it's
very dark.
use parental guidance is recommended. I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say for any of the live Twitch stream stuff that we do, for all of them, because, yeah, we're not editing anything. So it's just us live, and we're also not censoring ourselves. So, yeah, just a note. I don't think we're terrible.
it gets the drawings get a little interesting
Yeah.
when it gets later in the
Yeah.
evening.
I
We'll
Yes.
say
No idea what you're talking about the drawing.
no. I mean, why would you?
I don't draw. I certainly can't draw.
No.
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 No, that is about all I can draw.
Especially with a mouse. It's a simple shape.
And with that, we're going to pop into our next clip. This is Rocky and I talking about A Valley of the Vikings, which won the Kennerspiel de Jaar last year. The Kinderspiel de Jaar. Kinderspiel is the
Not Kenner
expert.
Studio. Yeah, that's
Yeah, the
different.
Kinderspiel de Jaar, the kids' game of the year from Haba. So you hear our opinions on that. We'll be back in just a minute. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Patreon party. I think we're just kind of call me today your co-host, Bruce.
It's a very exclusive party.
It is a
today.
very exclusive party
Mhm.
today. Joining me on the show is Rocky.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Guess I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you?
You know, not bad. Not bad. I have learned, and I've talked about this on the main show, and we'll talk about it here,
Uh-huh.
is that I forgot how hard it is to get everyone together to do anything
Yeah.
in the month of December.
Yeah. No, that was a choice.
Yeah, I totally just misshot that,
Yeah.
thinking that we would get an episode done sometime in the middle of the month.
Yeah. Just-
And no, we're going back for the party to where we began
Hello.
in April, where just you and I did a thing.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
I thought maybe I'm not sitting in the right chair, but I am the last person you talked to, so I thought I'd try and be awkward. Did it work?
I think it's never going to be quite as awkward as it will be with me and
No.
someone that is stranger to me than you are.
I'm pretty strange.
Agreed. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. You
Okay.
individually are quite strange, but
Hey.
we're used to each other, so it's never going to quite seem that strange. So we're going to talk about a game on the show. Now, we decided since it was only the two of us, we wanted to talk about a game that used smaller numbers. So rather than normally we'd cover here kind of a party game, as we do, we thought this time we'd cover something that still feels very much like a party, but just doesn't play that many people, only plays 4 people.
Party.
So this time we are covering Valley of the Kings by Haba.
No, we're not.
I say it every time. It is Valley of the Vikings.
I feel like that would just be a lot of pyramids and mummies and stuff.
Oh, and I honestly think I would probably, as thematically, I
Yeah.
would like that more
Yeah, well.
than Valley of the
So what
Vikings.
kind of kings are these?
Vikings.
There you go.
Yeah. So Valley of the Vikings is a game where, and every time I try to explain this to people, they just look at me. So I'm going to try to explain it, Rocky, and as you feel
Mhm.
the need, try to explain what I'm missing here.
Okay.
So essentially, you have like a cardboard cricket bat that you use to hit a plastic ball
Uh-huh.
into like wooden barrel-shaped bowling pins
Mm-hmm.
that you use to manipulate movement on a track
Uh-huh.
to try to get/steal coins to put into your, you guessed it, Viking boat.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, that is essentially how the game works. There are 4 colors of player. There are 4 colors of pin. Every turn, what you're going to do is you're going to set your ball up in a little well you have. You're going to hit it at the pins. At the beginning of the game, the pins have a place they sit. After that, whatever pins got knocked out the previous turn, you're allowed to reset anywhere you want. You use that to manipulate players on the top of a board, and based on where a player's color is, once a player has jumped off the edge of the board, you'll either get 1, 2, 3, or 4 coins, or you will steal from one of the 4 players.
Yeah, it's the track is pretty much a pier, and you're trying not to take a long walk off a short pier. Because if you fall in the water at the end, you don't get coins, but everyone else does. But that's what signifies everyone collecting cash,
Yeah.
is someone is swimming.
Yep. And that really, I want to say it's more sophisticated than that, but it's really not. The things you're going to collect kind of shuffle at the beginning of the game to create a different board every time, and you can play the game with less than 4 people. If you do, then there are turns where people that are not any of you are just going to steal things. So you're just going to have dummy players that could potentially, I guess, win the game if you've really plotted everything wrong.
Yeah.
But in all my games I've played, and I think I have 5 games of this under my belt, because we played a couple, and then I played a couple at BGG Spring when this was up for the Kinderspiel des Jahres, the kids game of the year, and then I played it one other time. So I've got 5 plays of it under my belt, and I've always played with 4 players. So I've never played with those dummy boats to see what they do. But yeah, so on the table, it just looks crazy.
Yeah, because it's a whole, like, cardboard village, pretty much. And you're rolling this barrel down, or this ball. It's like a barrel bowling ball, I guess.
It's like a ball.
Yeah, well,
It's
brown.
definitely it's a brown plastic ball.
Yeah, and you're hitting other barrels with it. And I think on the box, they tried to make it look like a barrel ball, which doesn't make sense. Don't think about it too hard. But, so it's this whole village, and then there's the shoreline at the end with the pier with the counter track. And then around the board, everyone has their own 3D cardboard ship they can put your coins in.
Yeah, that's another thing to note. You have to assemble little boats. And the key to the boats is, I think, by and large, is to make it so people do not know how much money you have. Which doesn't work in the games we've played because people have said, like, how much money do you have? And if you don't tell them, they get real upset about that. But you're really not supposed to know. You're not supposed to have a great grasp of exactly how much money everyone has.
Yeah, I think the rules say it's supposed to be a secret. Oops.
Yeah, so that you have some kind of idea. Like, you might know who you think is leading, but you aren't 100% sure. And the thought is that while you're in a game where essentially you're strategically placing barrels to hit them with a ball, that you've used a cricket bat that's shaped like a Viking to hit, that you'll just lose track of what's going on. And that's part of the game, is that you'll probably lose track of what's going on. So I would say, for me, like, I love this. This is everything I want a Haba game to be. For me, this is like Rhino Hero or Strong Stuff, or maybe not quite as cool as Klondike, only because that's such a unique game.
Nothing is really.
Cool. Or the Black Pirate, that one where you have like the little air things where you're blowing boats around.
What about the Balancy one? Is that
Animal Upon Animal?
No, the one with the big ship. And you're trying not to knock the whole ship over.
That was a Zaka game. That was actually not them. You're thinking of Riff Raff, where you have the big giant boat with the counterweight on the bottom.
Okay, yeah, that is too complicated to be a Haba, but I thought maybe because it was physical.
No, I get it. Sense. That's usually a good guess. But I would say this is the next in the long line of Haba games that are made for kids, but that adults are going to love.
Yeah.
There's something about it, and there's something. So, in all good theory, the strategy of what I'm going to do with the pieces, like I want to hit blue, yellow, green, because blue's going to jump this, and yellow's going to jump this, and green's going to move here, is incredibly straightforward and simple.
And then the only other piece of logic you have is, well, which chip do I move first? Because you get to decide, of the ones you've knocked over, whose little token you get to move first, because they hop over each other and stuff. They can't share a space, but that's it.
And that, you would feel that, because that's all the more sort of strategizing you're going to do, that there still isn't anything else to it. And the dexterity is just difficult enough that you find yourself ruining your own plans, no matter how well you've set them up.
Especially if you get angry and you're just like, ha! And when you hit the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, and then little barrels go flying everywhere, which is hilarious and frustrating.
There's also, you sort of have, like, if you've ever bowled, you will sometimes find, like, you'll get a strike and you didn't know how you did it. And you'll say, like, I don't know, but somehow that one bowling pin, like, laid flat and spun all the way across the back row and took everything out for me. The same thing happens here, but you don't want it to. You're like, all I have to do is hit everything but blue and I'll be okay. And you get the shot, and then the green pin bounces off something and nails the blue for you as well, and you're in a place you didn't want to be. Which I think's fun. I think that's what makes this sort of an entertaining dexterity game, is that you can still fail the dexterity when you're trying to set up your strategy.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot more to cover on this one.
Because there's not much more game than that.
Yeah, there's not much more game than that. I would say if you're really looking for a ton of game, if you're looking for, a crokinole type of experience, or we've also played most recently tabletop curling.
Oh, that was cute.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, like, strategy in tabletop curling. There isn't quite as much as there is in curling, but the idea of, like, being able to set a guard and stuff like that just doesn't really exist in Valley of the Kings.
Nope.
Or Valley of the Vikings.
I'm just going to try and put the piece I don't want to hit as far away from the others as possible, and that's it.
But I would say if you love these sort of haba, like quasi-strategy, definitely dexterity games, and once again in that same line of like Strong Stuff and Animal Upon Animal and the Black Pirates, and this is definitely a worthy entry in that exact same line of games.
It's very cute. It's fun to play. It's kind of like a popcorn game where you can just, there's not a lot of substance, but you're enjoying it and you kind of want some more.
And it's super neat looking on a table.
Yes.
Like this was one that I kept noticing at Board Game Geek Spring that people would gravitate towards just because it looked so crazy on the table. Because you're like, what is this ball? Why are there bowling pins? What is the whole thing? Why are there 4 cardboard ships? All of that just really makes it an endearing game.
Yeah.
So then we have a brand thing we have to do here. Would you take it to a party? Now let's begin. We have to begin this. I know that Brian and also an additional Brian are not here. And that you aren't normally the one to bring up these circumstances, but I feel I must.
Okay.
It's a party for 4 people. It's a very small party.
Oh, I hope there are reasons behind it only being 4 people that are not sad.
Me too.
Okay.
Or maybe there's a larger party and just 4 of you are playing this and other people are playing other things.
Okay, I'm going with that.
But would you take it to a party knowing that it's just 4 players?
Yeah. Can you imagine this as a drinking game? Not to pervert a cute, adorable, pure children's game. However.
Yes, this is one I would say is not as straightforward as Strong Stuff. Strong Stuff, I can't believe, is not a drinking game. And it's so easily and accessibly a drinking game.
But I would imagine every time a person goes in the water, the person in the water has to take a drink.
And I think you've done it.
Yep, without just murdering anybody.
Yeah, you're not going to hurt anyone that way.
Yeah.
And there's still there's more of a punishment for going in the water. I really like that. And you can literally say you're going in the drink.
But it's the most subtle of dexterity games. Like, you don't have to be real fine-tuned to do this either.
Yeah. And I would say, as a person that's pretty good at dexterity games, like, I could do better than most, but I still can't win every game because I'll still make mistakes and other people will still make brilliant shots. And I think that's the good thing about this particular dexterity game. Yeah. I also am going to say the same thing. I would definitely take it to a party. And you've added a rare drinking rule that I don't hate.
Okay.
Like, because sometimes people will say, like, Monopoly, but every time you cross go, you do a drink. And you're like, well, you're going to kill everyone. Like, don't do that. That's bad. That's a horrible idea.
Also, your party might need it if you're playing Monopoly.
That's also true.
Just
but
putting that out there.
I don't hate Monopoly as much as many do.
It's not a party game.
No, it is not a party game.
It's not a party game. Don't play it at a party.
Don't
do
don't
that.
Don't play it
Don't
at a party.
do that. Why would you do that to your friends?
Yeah, or your family. Don't do that.
No.
But I would say for this, I even kind of like your rule because really people only end up sort of in the water maybe 5 times, 6 times in a game by the time it's all over. So that would be all the more you do. And you're never going to be able to do that all of the same person.
Well, and then you just keep aiming for the same little barrel all the time. Like, oh, watch this. Bruce has to drink again. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, and I think and like I said, I don't think you can hurt anybody too badly with this one, assuming that you are the sort of folks that have agreed to play a drinking game to start with. Obviously, I wouldn't say that you do this to anybody that's that hasn't given consent, quite frankly. Consent's important.
Indeed.
Also for drinking games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just in life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also, since we're talking about them, also for drinking games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, would definitely take it to a party. It's out right now from the fine folks at Haba. Once again, even though I keep saying it the wrong way, it is a Valley of the Vikings.
There you go.
It just won the Kinderspiel des Jahres. Once again, that is the German kids game of the year. Some years, those are not games you would play with adults. This one is definitely one I would play with adults, and I would also play with kids. So I think this is everything you hope to see out of kind of a Haba kids dexterity game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, patrons. Thank you so much for listening. We do genuinely appreciate your support. This one's going to be on the big show eventually, but I will still say this here. Sorry this is getting out so late. Once again, the month of December kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays and a happy new year. Although I'm sure by the time a lot of you get this, it probably might have passed the new year for you.
Happy January.
Happy January. And once again, thank you so much for listening. So now to close out the show, I think the final thing to talk about is if you've been playing like any board game apps or specifically Tabletop Simulator, but I'll let everybody else. I have not been playing too many board game apps other than the occasional game of like Ticket to Ride. I've mostly just been playing a lot of like Switch games and a lot of pinball because I have a video pinball rig. So I've been playing a lot of video pinball and I've been doing a lot of like taking my games out of their boxes looking at the pieces, touching them, moving them on the board, and then putting everything back in the box. There's
so sad.
it really is. There's been a lot of that. I got a lot of the Funkoverse recently, so I just have like all of the little Funkoverse dolls like all lined up, ready to battle, and then I put them all away again. So that's been what I've been doing.
Kind of sad.
But, like, are you guys playing any kind of tabletop stuff? Are you trying to play tabletop stuff? I know Rocky and I have a story about Tabletop Simulator, but I'm going to let everybody else go first. So if there's anybody out there that you've kind of had that experience, I know Marty was saying specifically we'll go to him because you're playing, like, Twilight Struggle on, I'm going to guess, Steam. So talk to me about kind of like that tabletop world out there.
So this is not the Tabletop Simulator that you're going to discuss later.
No.
So a lot of games do have just like an online version, like Twilight Struggle and Terraforming Mars. Although I love Terraforming Mars in real life, but I haven't played the online version yet because it doesn't have any of the expansions. And my friends who do have it say you can't skip the animation, so it makes the game really long.
Oh.
But if you like the Twilight Struggle online version is really good. Lords of Waterdeep has a really good online version as well that you can play with multiple people, so that's a lot of fun. Those are the two I mainly played.
Is it good and thematic, Marty?
I mean, it's pretty much the board game itself.
So the answer's no.
So, Bruce, you're all about that.
I'm up on it. I actually think I have Twilight Struggle on like the iPad.
Well, they're cross-platform, so you can play it with anybody.
Yeah, I think I have that from a bunch. And I heard the same thing about Terraforming Mars. I thought of checking it out because I was like, oh, everyone's talking about Terraforming Mars. And then I saw sort of the reviews that were like, oh, you thought it was a long game in person. Wait till you try it on Steam. And I was like, no, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think it was free on Steam or very, very cheap recently, and I picked it up. I haven't actually gotten a chance to play it. But I have Terraforming Mars also.
And then I know out there, and I keep meaning to get back to it, I want to say it's another one I have on the iPad, but I think it came for a whole bunch of different places, is Through the Ages. Also came out to all kinds of stuff. I know I used to noodle with it when I first got it, because when it came out, it was, $9 or something, which is very expensive for an app, but compared to like the actual board game is not expensive at all. And I remember playing with it a little bit, and I was starting to understand how the game worked, and then stopped. And I might get back to it. Seems like a thing to check out.
Ticket to Ride and Carcassonne also have their own standalone games.
Yep.
They were free on the Epic Game Store, if I recall correctly, like a month or two ago.
And I know Ticket to Ride is an amazing implementation. I have not played it online. I've only played one player because I, by and large, don't want to play against other people on video games. But I will tell you, in one player, and I would imagine online as well, it's a super smooth, slick interface.
Yeah, it's very handy, and you don't have to like fumble with a bunch of little plastic trains, so that's handy.
Too true.
There's also, I can't remember where it is. There is a sort of knockoff Settlers of Catan that you can play on a website. I can't remember what it's called, but it's something very similar.
Okay.
And it is definitely Settlers of Catan that is just not marketed as Settlers of Catan.
Oh, of course. And then there's that story where I think the Navy is trying to copyright or trademark Settlers of Catan. Look it up. It's a whole thing.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, no, look it up. A couple of sailors invented Catan.
okay.
Yeah, trust me, look up the story, y'all.
While being sailors and
Yeah, like they're working on it now. Yeah, the story came out a couple days ago. It's well worth checking out. If you're out there, like just look that up. Like sailors invent Catan, and you should be able to find the story about it, and it's kind of amusing. Brian, have you found yourself kind of involved in any of that tabletop via ones and zeros kind of stuff?
not so much. You guys are my main source of that.
Fair enough.
And we've been twitching Jackbox and things.
Oh my goodness, have we?
So, oh yeah, so much. So no, not so much. Like I said, it's mainly just playing this Black Desert game has been most of my time.
Nice.
And Amazon Prime has been winning me over from Netflix. But no, not so much. Not really any board gaming.
Okay, it happens. It happens. Everybody's alone. It's a tough time to board game. Like I told you, I pull my pieces out. I look at them. I like push them around and then put them back away.
I do miss it. I haven't gone to the like webcam playing whatever.
So,
online digital versions.
Interesting you should say that, and I appreciate the segue. So, Rocky and I Tried like hell.
Yes.
Also, an additional Brian. His birthday came up, and he was like, I know we're all trapped inside, and we normally would have gone to dinner or something. Here's what I want to do. My wife and I are going to have dinner, and then I would really just like to play Betrayal. I really love Betrayal at the House on the Hill. It's my favorite game.
That story's kind of right.
Is it? Okay, then you know what? Tell it.
Sammy said, hey, his birthday's coming up. We should do something for him because we can't leave the house. It was the other way around.
Oh, okay, because I got it kind of fed to me.
I don't think he would ask, hey, could you do this thing for me? He's just not that kind of person.
I suppose that's
He
true.
doesn't seem like it.
No. So we did that for him. And so we tried to do it through Tabletop Simulator first. And we did manage to get through a game. We'll put it that way. However, picking up cards is really frustrating because sometimes it's like, well, here's a big stack of cards, or I've cut the cards, and no, I just want this one card. We'll turn it over. Well, I don't know. And then you like picking up the individual teeny tiny pieces, like even the player tokens were really annoying to try and get off of the room cards. So you would end up just picking up the whole thing, and then it was just, and then so it was cute. Whoever programmed it in put in the rule book and the haunt books, and I had downloaded what was supposed to be the original and the expansion for Widow's Walk, except it didn't have the books in there for the original haunts, and we ended up getting an original haunt. But luckily, all of us own it, so we just went to the real life book. And looked it up. But it was the most painful game of that I've played in my entire life. And it was the most satisfying table flip at the end to just throw all the pieces into space. Because
you don't have to clean them up.
Yeah.
You do it with
God,
Tabletop
yes.
Simulator. So you don't have to worry about the cat batting them around and you finding them 6 months later and you in your coffee or something like that.
Ew.
It was also like the one that we played. If you've played it, then you're going to know what we're talking about. If you haven't, you probably still know what we're talking about. But some of the haunts, like, just come up real fast, and the way they're built, like, in a game that would normally last an hour to an hour 15, like, it would be knocked out in 40 minutes just because, like, the house was too small and the haunt came up too quickly and luck kind of did a thing. We had that game where, like, but it took 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Just each turn takes so long because it's, all right, well, I need to roll this thing, and then I need to try to pick up this thing, but no, that's the thing next to it. Nope, that's the thing under it. Well, no, I need to move the thing, but no, not that thing too. And it was so painful.
And then what was hilarious was on our side, Rocky was running all of because we realized that like the amount of dexterity needed, somebody was going to have to just keep working on it. So it was Rocky on my side and Brian and also an additional Brian and Sammy's side.
Yes.
So that two people were like just getting the dexterity time in to get good at this, and neither one of them really did.
No.
Even after, it wasn't just like because even Rocky was like, look, just give me a little while. It might take me a little while to get used to this. Like, Bruce, just don't even touch it. I'll do it, and eventually I'll be okay enough at it that it'll be good and we'll go fast.
I did the tutorial. It just... there are too many, like maybe in a game with less pieces, maybe I don't know. It was cute. They even put in the books and you could turn the pages in the books. That was really cute. And the one thing they did add was there was a little like digital tracker that you could click for the number of haunts. So you didn't have to try and look around the obnoxious table for all of the haunts to try and figure out how many there were when you did a haunt roll.
That is handy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's also a neat thing. So you can pull out an iPad in the game. I guess if you need to like go shove it in someone's face to prove a rule on Board Game Geek.
Yes.
But ostensibly, it's a fully functioning iPad.
Uh-huh.
So if, for instance, you don't want to play board games, you just want to like stream the WWE network so that multiple people can watch it, it can do that.
But we would never advocate that.
I'm not saying you should do that.
No.
But I'm saying, like, if, for instance, you wanted to show 4 people the Firefly Funhouse match, but none of them wanted to pay for the WWE network and you want to be able to talk in real time about it, it is a way you could do it.
Through Tabletop Simulator.
Through the iPad in Tabletop Simulator.
That is so obtuse.
Yeah, because it came up, and when Brian was messing, also an additional Brian was messing with it, and he was like, oh, it's got Google. I wonder if this is real Google or like fake Google. Because if this is fake Google, like, they're going to owe Google some money.
Foogle?
And he, like, Googled poop. He Googled like poop and boobs, and he was like, oh.
Not together.
Not together.
Yeah, no, you don't want to see that.
Separately.
No.
And he was like, oh, this is real. I wonder. And like for a while we were watching YouTube videos.
Well, there's the reason it took over 2 hours to play the game.
Yeah, that might have something to do with it.
Maybe.
Well, luckily we found that after the game was over. Because once it was over, everybody was like, let me see what all these buttons do.
Yeah. So the more successful version of playing Betrayal for us was we used Facebook Messenger and just video called. So Bruce's account on his iPad, he just put over the table looking at the board and the whole table. My computer was next to us showing us. And then we both owned copies of the game. So like we would both have the house laid out on the table in front of us, but we would be the ones drawing cards, and then they could just find it in their deck so they knew what they had the whole time.
Huh.
And that worked really well.
Yeah.
It just, required us both to have copies of the game.
Yeah. I would say that's the easiest way, because there are a lot of people saying they find it unplayable, that a lot of games are just unplayable over webcam, and I understand how they could be.
Yeah.
But if you happen to both own a copy, it's not so bad, because it kind of gives you one reference point to go, oh, that's what this is supposed to look like right now. I would say games like Onitama would probably be much more playable that way. But I would say only stick to games that like you can't find some sort of interface for. But I would say if it's go to Tabletop Simulator or figure out a way to do it over webcam, you should probably figure out a way to do it over webcam.
Oh my god, yes. Because playing the game is hard enough long distance. Trying to pick up little tiny pieces, at least that's a knowledge you have in real life. You don't have to try and reteach yourself.
Yeah. And if it's a skill that for some reason you don't have or you've lost in some way, someone at the table has it.
Hopefully.
Which we found that nobody at the table could do it in Tabletop Simulator.
Nope.
At one point I was like, okay, Rocky, roll the dice. And somehow she managed to just nudge them. It like in life it would have been like just bumping them with the back of her knuckle. Like, oh, they're rolled now, Bruce. It's good. I'm like, no. I just died on that roll. That wasn't a real roll. She's like, no, I think they're rolled. I'm like, they definitely aren't. Everybody else was like, Rocky, I don't know about that. It looks like you kind of bumped one die. You're like, I don't know. I hit them all. I touched them all. They're rolled.
It moved, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably good.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, any other experiences anybody else is having with this stuff in the world? Because if not, then we'll wrap up. But I figured I would ask if I'm missing anything.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Steam's selling a lot of games for cheap right now.
Yeah. And so there's
Yeah.
also, if you're a video gamer, there was a lot of stuff on Switch.
Yeah.
Like we literally just got a game called Double Switch, which is the sequel to is it called Death Trap?
Night Trap.
Night Trap.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Night Trap, the game that is a movie that got the ratings on video games, had a spiritual successor called Double Switch. That stars Corey Haim and Debbie Harry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Blondie.
$3. I have $3 to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Corey
Yeah.
Haim?
Yes.
Yep, for the
Yeah.
game. Yep, Corey Haim. It is a
Insert
movie game.
Corey here. Come on. I mean, one of the Corys. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter which one.
Say, he's the dead one, isn't he?
Yes, but I mean, 25 years ago, he was very much alive.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And he was starring in this game.
I believe Jackbox is also on sale on Switch.
Yes. It is, and I know Drawful, although now it's passed, was like literally 9 cents on the Switch.
Wow.
And it was free on every other platform.
Free on,
Yeah, Drawful 2 is, I think it still is free on Epic
Steam?
Game Store and Steam, I think.
Yeah, I know on Switch they
free on
finally
Apple.
moved it back up to $10. So there you go. All kinds of things out there. Please, through all of our social media, through 30 Party Game, let us know how you're doing out there, what you're doing. If there's games that we should be checking out during this period, we'd love to know. Yeah, please reach out to us, because we're here, and what are any of us doing right now other than that kind of stuff? Unless, of course, you're an essential employee, in which case, good luck and
you.
Godspeed. I've been your moderator, Bruce. Joining me on the show is Rocky,
Pajama Jummy Jum!
Mike,
Pajamas.
Brian,
Pajamas.
and Marty.
All right, time to take off the pants again.
And thank you so much for listening.